I honestly have like no idea who to buy a GPU from next generation. EVGA was gonna be who was gonna go for 4090. Now it's like there's like nobody. It sucks because EVGA, like, I hate that. I understand why EVGA did this. Because here's the thing, EVGA treated their customers right, and especially for enthusiasts, highly would recommend would have highly recommended a card. Been like, hey, you wanna replace the card? Literally, you can take the card, not even like turn it, not even plug it in, instantly tear it apart, and it would be like, oh, it's broken. Here you go. Here's a new one. They'll just give you a new card. I heard someone say like they have like a 5-year-old card that died. EVGA just sent them a new card, which I don't think that's ever been done before. It's interesting. I enjoy EVGA GPUs. I think they're good. My 2080 Ti, because of EVGA's engineering, didn't die. This isn't even the first like EVGA like going downhill. They've been going downhill ever since Tin, who worked with Kingpin in 2019, left. Yeah, never had an EVGA, but heard their customer support was amazing. It is. Literally, their customer support is better than anyone else's. There was a lot of things now that looking back at it, I'm like, oh, now we can see why EVGA was like, we're done doing GPUs with NVIDIA. They said like the EVGA bucks stop working in September. That makes sense. They need to make money. It's September. They're announcing that. I guessing this like makes sense. Same thing with the so definitely like nothing's really been said from EVGA. EVGA stopped doing the step up program. So the step up program was like you buy, like let's say you bought a 3080. You could, let's say, oh, I want a 3090 Ti now. You send in your 3080 and then you pay the difference in price. That's no longer the case, which like no other place really does that. It was also like EVGA's had some mess ups, and the 900 series isn't great. 10 series, their 1080 super clocked, like that first one would break easily. But EVGA had 40% market share in NVIDIA GPUs and NA. Yep, I can see that. Like a lot of people in the US have EVGA cards. If you don't have an EVGA card, you typically have an Asus card. MSI is kind of rare, but you see it a good bit. And then Gigabyte, no one wants a Gigabyte card. Gigabyte will be a company I never buy a graphics card from that I like can think of, unless just because they do some weird things. I understand I say all this like, oh, I hate that you like you can't repay stuff. It's just like, yeah, Asus support is terrible. I've heard that. Gigabyte boards are just like not good. I don't want a Gigabyte board. I don't want to support that trash company. The two companies on my list now are Asus. Okay, there's 3. Asus and MSI, because I know I can get a card from them. And then there was the Galax. If I can get Galax in the US for the same price, I'll do Galax. So EVGA had 40% market share. So that's 40% of people who buy GPUs, let's just say. 4 out of 10 people will need to find a new company. I see a lot of people going to Asus because they trust Asus. It's just a known brand. I'm actually shocked that they had 40%. I thought they would have had way less. Gigabyte, I wish Gigabyte would have terminated theirs with NVIDIA. I think everyone would have been happy with that one, actually. So first of all, 78% GPU. I think it was 20% PSU. Yep, 20% PSU and like 2% other stuff. That's like their capture cards. That case, like the Elite X1. What's gonna happen to Kingpin, guys? Kingpin's gone. Like, where's Kingpin going? Because Kingpin's not gonna sit here and be like, I guess I'll just. Who could he join? He might join MSI. I don't think MSI has like MSI's winning right now in terms of like XOC for especially CPUs and RAM. I know. What I really feel bad about though is knowing that, so I think they said they had 280 people working. 280 people working there, and they're losing 80% revenue. Let's say even if they lose, say if like 60% no longer have a job, times 0.6 equals 168 people could possibly just have nothing to do. That sucks. Especially if they figured it out through a YouTube video. Like imagine it's like you're sitting on your lunch break, like they were. And it's like, oh, Gamers Nexus uploaded a video. What? I'm making GPUs and I'm not doing anything anymore? Like that's so weird. If they partner with AMD, that'd be really cool. Isn't it possible? So from what I believe Gamers Nexus said, I believe this was a quote. It was like they're gonna completely stop. At the same time, I don't know. I hope they do, because I really like EVGA as a company, but I think Nvidia would have to change a lot. Because before we say this, Nvidia like wants to make money. That's their biggest goal, is to make money. Same thing with EVGA. EVGA isn't making a large profit margin. They can still stay afloat. I guess good for them, but EVGA already isn't a big company, especially compared to someone like Asus. Asus is releasing like 20 motherboards a generation. EVGA might release 2. So I believe what the actual quote was, as long as I'm the CEO, we're not going to come back to GPUs. And from what I know, Nvidia doesn't really care, because Nvidia's just like, oh, I don't really care about how, like they think that the board partners don't do much. They do. They make a lot of cards. Especially think about it like a Kingpin card. That's not taking Nvidia's schematic, no. It's so stupid, but because the thing was, they were prepared for 40 series, because that's how the 3090 Ti is. That is a 30 series similar design. But they're talking about how prices. At the same time, I would never really think about an Nvidia GPU like an Nvidia Founders Edition, just because I know they're not the best. One thing, they do not have warranty stickers on them, so I guess you could easily take them apart.